We'll get to Steve Crowder in a few moments' time. I just want to first announce how angry I am because the United Nations has elected 7 new countries to its Human Rights Committee. China, Russia, Saudi Arabia, Vietnam, Algeria, Cuba. Algeria's there too, thank goodness for that. What really angers me, though, is where is Turkey, where is Syria, and where is the eternal empire of Ming the Merciless? This is bad stuff. Steve Crowder, is there anything we can say about the United Nations that isn't ridiculously funny at this point?
Oh, gosh. Well, I don't know. Funny, it might be tough for everyone to say something funny, but without saying something sarcastic, no, I think it's pretty impossible at this point. The fact that these people are sitting on a board that determines human rights on a global level, it's like having rapists sit on a board that determines sexual harassment for HR. It's laughable.
But when you think about the United Nations membership, there are a lot of very civilized countries. You're in one right now, the US, I'm in Canada. We think of most European countries, Australia, New Zealand, India. There are many countries that do believe in trying to promote democracy and freedom and humanity. Why are those countries so frequently pushed into the background?
Because the UN is a horrible, filthy cesspool where dreams go to die. Short answer. The second answer, listen, I don't think the United States should be a part of the UN. I don't necessarily think that Canada should be a part of the UN, but certainly not the United States. We have no reason to. As far as pushing democracy out into the world, firstly, that's not really what the UN does. You want to know who does that more effectively than anybody else in the world on planet Earth? Is the United States military. More specifically, the United States Air Force, I guess, would be to be exact. And the second most powerful force would be the United States Navy Air Force, their Navy pilots. Aside from that, there's no reason for us to be a part of the UN. They don't spread democracy. They're not effective in doing that. And I also don't think it's our role. That's one thing where I end up becoming more of a libertarian that maybe some Canadians might not understand. I am relatively non-interventionist. That being said, if I were an interventionist, if I did believe that it was our role to spread democracy and to make sure that everyone has lives just as fantastic as we have in America, the UN would likely be the most inefficient way of doing it.
But it doesn't come out of some vacuum. The League of Nations originally, now the United Nations, it does do a great deal of good work. If you travel third world countries, you'll meet lots of people working for the UN. They're not political. They're just on the ground bringing clean water and decent food. They have intervened at times to try and secure some sort of peace. There must be an alternative. We should criticize it. We should. It's a mockery, but we must come up with some sort of alternative.
Well, there are alternatives. You want to talk about the UN does in third world countries? Great. It's not even a fraction of being what American churches and American charities do in third world countries. It's like when Bono had this one foundation, which ironically enough gives less than actually 1% of all proceeds to charity, demanded that people would give money that would then go into the hands of governments of these third world countries. Well, do you think that money gets in the hands of citizens who actually require it, where it's needed for change? No, of course not. But churches go in, private charities can go in that are more effective, places like Christian Children's Fund or many American churches. The church that I attend right now goes to Zambia every single year, and they get much more done than anyone in the UN. And also, here's the crazy part, without coercion, without forcing people to pay for this charitable work through their tax dollars. And not only that, but people who don't want to pay for the UN also don't end up having to pay for basically one big organization that might as well be called the Let's Wipe Israel Off of the face of the map nation. That's what the UN is.
Steve, what about armed intervention, though? No, I would be the first to say that the UN has failed repeatedly, but not always. There are times when the United Nations has gone in with peacekeepers, with troops, and it has stopped people from being murdered, being massacred.
Yeah. Well, firstly, I hate the term peacekeeper. Peacekeeper is actually a term we use in the United States for a gun. That's how it's been used for a long time. When you look back at the Lone Ranger, that's really the most efficient peacekeeper. Who has the biggest stick? Who can hit the hardest? So two things we've talked about. The UN, they go and they do a lot of good work. People do a lot of good work. They do charitable work in third world countries. So we've established it's much more efficient to do that through private charities and to allow churches to do that good work. Then as far as armed intervention, much more efficient than the UN, the United States military. You're welcome, planet Earth. We don't need the UN.
Yeah. The Second World War, that's right, against Nazism. I think you'll find a couple of years late, Canada was already involved. However, very quickly, Obamacare, new ads for...
We appreciate that. We appreciate that. Juno Beach, God bless Canada.
I'm glad you... Obamacare, there are new ads for Obamacare. Now it's going to be fine because the ads are so incredibly compelling.
Right, yeah. I can't see what your viewers are seeing right now, but if you see these ads, it basically consists of hipsters with tattoos and silly little slogans trying to confuse people to think that Obamacare is actually anything other than a massive embarrassment. What's funny is literally you're looking at single digits, maybe double digits now, a number of people who have actually enrolled in Obamacare. Last time we spoke, the number was 6. If it would be 600, if it would be 600,000, it would be laughably pathetic. But the actual number was 6, pointing out, period, 6 people who enrolled for Obamacare. Premiums have gone up. More people have been dropped, of course, by their insurance companies and have signed up for Obamacare. And this is it's a president, it's an administration, Michael. This is a fine point that I'll put on here before I have to go. It's an administration that has never had to govern. Barack Obama was a senator. He always had to focus on campaigning. He never had to govern anything. Okay. As president, he has always he is consistently remained in campaign mode.
We're out of time. We're out of time. We're out of time. I have to stop you. Listen, I think the resolution is very simple. You get the United Nations to run Obamacare, and we'll all be very healthy and very happy. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you, Michael.